trend of the northern kingdom. He continued Jeroboam's idolatry. In fact, he kept doing what was bad in the eyes of Jehovah and came to do worse than all who were prior to him. 1 Kings 16. 25, 26. Some 200 years later, through Micah, Jehovah condemned Israel for following the statutes of Omri. Micah 6. 16. 4. A Judite whose descendant lived in Jerusalem following the Babylonian exile. 1 Ch 9. 3, 4. On. The name of a person and a place. 1. Generative power. Dynamic energy. A son of Peleth. A principal man of the tribe of Reuben. New 16. When he was among those raising a protest against Moses and Aaron, but his name does not appear among the rebels in their later speeches to Moses or when they were punished by Jehovah with destruction. New 16. 2, 3, 12-14, 23-35. This may be due to his playing a very textually acute Muritra Longo. Onesimus 555. In course of time the priesthood of On became very wealthy, rivaling the priesthood of Memphis in this respect, and being surpassed only by the priesthood of Thebes. Biblical No Amen. Connected with its temple to the sun, the school was operated for training priests and for the teaching of medicine. Greek philosophers and scholars were drawn there to learn the priestly theology, and On became celebrated as a center of Egyptian wisdom. The prophet Jeremiah was inspired to foretell that King Nebuchadnezzar would overrun Egypt and break to pieces the pillars of Beth Shemesh, which is in the land of Egypt. Jah 43. 10-13. Beth Shemesh corresponds somewhat to the Greek name Heliopolis and means house of the sun. Hence the reference here is likely to the city of On, and the pillars that were to be broken may well refer to the many obelisks around the temple of the sun. Ezekiel's prophecy contains a similar warning. Es 30. 10, 17. Here the Hebrew vowel pointing of the name varies from that of Genesis so that the name literally is Aven-Heb. Awen. Some scholars suggest that it was done as a play on words, since Aven means hurtfulness. Something hurtful, and On was a center of idolatry. This may also be the case at Isaiah 19. 18, where the Masoretic text refers to one of the 5 cities in the land of Egypt speaking the language of Canaan and swearing to Jehovah as the city of tearing down Heb. Iha-Herez. The Dead Sea Scroll of Isaiah has Iha-Cherez, meaning city of the sun, thus pointing to On Heliopolis. Here again there may be an intentional play on words, Herez tearing down being substituted for Cherez, another Hebrew word for sun, less common than Shemesh in view of Jehovah's intention to destroy the idolatrous city of On. The paraphrase of this portion of the verse found in the Aramaic Targums reads, City of the house of the sun, which is to be destroyed. Besides the foretold destructive invasion by Nebuchadnezzar, On Heliopolis evidently suffered a further blow when Cambyses II conquered Egypt according to Strabo, Greek geographer who lived near the start of the Common Era. Geography, 17, I, 27. By Strabo's time Heliopolis had lost its position of importance and was partially deserted. Today, the village called Almatari occupies part of the ancient site, and all that remains there of the earlier splendor is a single obelisk of red granite dating from the reign of Sesostris. Other obelisks from Heliopolis are now to be found in New York, London, and Rome. Onmonam from a root meaning generative power. Dynamic energy. 1. Last of the 5 listed sons of Horite Sheikh Shobal, and grandson of the Horite's forefather Ser. GE 36. 20, 21, 23. 1 Ch 1. 40. 2. A son of Jerahmeel and a link in the Jerahmeelite genealogy in the tribe of Judah. His mother's name was Atara. 1 Ch 2. 26, 28. Onan from a root meaning generative power. Dynamic energy. A son of Judah, his second by the Canaanite daughter of Shur. GE 38. 2-4. 1 Ch 2. 3. After Onan's childless older brother who was put to death by Jehovah for wrongdoing, Onan was told by Judah to perform brother-in-law marriage with his widow Tamar. If a son was produced, he would not be the founder of Onan's family, and the firstborn's inheritance would belong to him as an heir to. Whereas if no heir came, Onan would get the inheritance for himself. When Onan had relations with Tamar, he wasted his semen on the earth instead of giving it to her. This was not an act of masturbation on the part of Onan, for the account says when he did have relations with his brother's wife he spilled his semen. Apparently it was a case of coitus interruptus, in which Onan purposely prevented ejaculation of his semen into Tammuz's genital tract. For his disobedience to his father, his covetousness, and his sin against the divine arrangement of marriage, not for self-abuse, o textui acute miritra longo, o Nicephorus 556 reluctance in view of how good a companion he has become. The apostle, however, had no way of forcing Onesimus to make the return, so it depended on and resulted from Onesimus' own willingness to go. In dispatching Onesimus, Paul arranged for Tychicus to accompany him and for the two to carry a letter and a report to Colossae. Col 4. 7-9 Additionally, Paul gave Onesimus his letter to Philemon, even though it was late enough in his imprisonment that Paul was expecting release and looking forward to visiting Philemon personally. PHM 22 This latter letter might be termed one of reintroduction and recommendation for Onesimus, in which Paul assured Philemon of the good Christian ministry and new personality of Onesimus.